will be presenting to you a lesson and we'll be learning about differential association theory. And in this video, we'll be tackling, or the content of this video is the component, description, and the three characteristics, 9 propositions. And we'll also showing you some short role plays for you to more understand this theory. First, let's learn more about Edward Sutherland. He was born on Gibbon, Nebraska, on US on August 13, 1883. He died on October 11, 1950. He was an American criminologist and sociologist. He was also a dean of criminology, coined the term white-collar crime, developed the differential association theory.
So, let's define what is differential association theory. Sociologist Edwin Sutherland first proposed differential association in 1939 as a learning theory of deviance. It is a learning theory of deviance because, according to him, criminal behavior is learned through our interactions with others. It is not something that we inherited. It is not something that we are not born with. Instead, it is something that we pick from our social environment. The second one is, it is a process of associating with criminal elements more than with non-criminal elements leads to deviant behavior. For example, if you spend all your time with friends who shoplifts, who skip school, or who do drugs, you're more likely to start doing those things yourself. But if you spend your time with friends who study hard, follow rules, or do good deeds, you are more likely to follow that path instead. The third one, it holds that deviant behavior arises if interactions with those who view those actions positively outweigh interactions with those who view them negatively. For example, Group A, they think that doing bad things such as cheating, lying, or breaking the laws is normal, cool, or not a big deal. And Group B, they think doing bad things is wrong and will get you in trouble. And if Group A has a stronger influence in you, then you will most likely follow what the Group A does. Next, it proposes that the values, attitude, techniques, and motives for criminal behavior are learned through one's interactions with others. Meaning, people learn to be criminals from those people around them. They pick up the values, attitude, and skills needed to commit crime by hanging out with others who do it. For example, a teenager who named Alex, who grew up in a neighborhood where most of his friends are involved in a petty theft. Through his interactions with them, Alex learns for values that getting things for free, even if it means stealing, is okay. For attitude, that the police are the enemy and that society is unfair. For techniques, how to shoplift without getting caught. And for motives, what is the reason to steal it? Is it to fit in, to get things, or that you can't afford? Because Alex is constantly exposed to these criminal values and skills, he is more likely to engage in theft himself. He has learned to be a criminal from his friends. Lastly, this theory remains important to the field of criminology. It remained important in the field of criminology because it provides a framework to understand why people commit crimes by looking at their social lives rather than just looking at their individual personalities. For us to better understand what is differential association theory, let's take a look at this image. This image shows how different social groups such as family, friend, neighbors, virtual peers, co-workers, or classmates influence an individual. Differential association theory says that criminal behavior is learned from this group through communication. People learn techniques for committing crimes as well as motives or justifications for breaking the law. If someone is surrounded by more people who favor breaking the law than following it, they are more likely to become deviant themselves. The arrows represent this flow of learning and influence. So, why did Edwin Sutherland develop this theory? First, to address the issue of how people learn deviance. Before this theory, it was unclear how someone ends up doing things considered deviant or criminal. So, this theory was created to explain that it is a learning process. Second, to explain various forms of deviance, including white-collar crimes. White-collar crimes refers to the non-violent offenses committed by the professionals. Meaning, it wasn't just about the street crimes. The theory wanted to show that even complex crimes, as I mentioned, the white-collar crimes like fraud are also learned behavior, not just isolated acts. Lastly, to move away from earlier biological or individualistic explanations. Earlier explanation often blame crime on a person's biology like their genes or their individual personality's flaws. This theory was a way to shift the focus to the social environment, meaning the people and groups someone interacts with as the main reason for learning criminal behavior.
So there are three characteristics of differential association theory. Number one is deviant behavior versus non-deviant behavior. Example, a student chooses to copy answer in an exam because his friends say it's fine, instead of listening to his classmates who say don't cheat. Then number two, deviant behavior demonstrated by loved ones. This means that wrong behavior affects a person more when it comes from someone close, like family or friends, because they are trusted and admired. Example, a child sees his father lying about money and thinks it's okay to lie too. Number 3. Age of exposure. This means that if someone learns bad behaviors at a young age, it usually sticks with them longer and it's harder to change. Example, a boy who learns to steal candy at the age of 8 and will keep doing it as he grows up.
Also, Edwin Sutherland proposed 9 propositions or 9 principles. First is criminal behavior is learned behavior. So according to this means that criminal behavior is not inherited, such as person who is not already trained in crime does not invent criminal behavior. An example of this is a child learned to steal by watching older kids in neighborhood. Second is criminal behavior is learned by interacting with other people by communicating with words and gestures. For example, a hacker teaches his friend how to break into account through online chat. And third, people learn criminal behavior in intimate personal groups. And people does not learn crimes by just watching movies or by just anyone else, but through influence of their intimate group.
Okay, let's continue. Number 4, learning about crime includes learning the techniques of committing a crime as well as learning the motivation and attitudes towards crime. The person who learned the ways of crimes from the people they associated with are not just learning the crimes but also what's the motivation, reason behind it. It's not enough to imitate what other offenders do, but also the reason to do so and justification in engaging the crime, develop the right mental attitude towards crime. Next, number 5. The motivation to commit crime comes from whether we view legal goals as favorable or unfavorable.
Personal feeling and opinions about clothes directly influence your motivation to commit a crime. If you view a specific law as favorable, you'll likely feel less motivated to break it. You respect it. However, if you view law as unfavorable, you'll be more motivated to disregard and potentially commit crime.
Number 6, a person becomes delinquent because of an excess of definition favorable of breaking the law over definition favorable of obeying the law. A person becomes delinquent when their exposure to ideas and beliefs that justify breaking law outweighs their ideas and beliefs that advocate for obeying the law. Example, if you're a person who exposed to intimate groups who believes breaking law is crime, then you'll be afraid to commit crimes. But if you're exposed to a group who believes doing crime is okay, then you're more likely to commit crime or be delinquent. Number 7, the differential association theory can differ in frequency, duration, priority, and intensity.
The impact of associations on an individual behavior varies based on how often they interact with criminal influences, how long they are exposed to them, how early in life the exposure occurs, and how strong the influence is. Example, a child has a close family member involved in a crime is more likely to be influenced than someone who only occasionally interacts with a criminal. Next,
number 8, the learning of criminal behavior by association is similar to all other types of learning.
The process involved in learning criminal behavior are the same as those in learning any of your lessons. Just as a child learns to read through repetition and reinforcement, they can also learn criminal behavior through similar process. Next, number 9.
Criminal and non-criminal behavior is an expression of the same needs and values. In other words, it does not discriminate in any person of any background to become a criminal.
Criminals are not necessarily different from non-criminals in their basic needs and values. They may simply be trying to achieve the same goals through different means. For example, both drug dealer and a business person may be motivated by the need for financial success, but they choose different paths to achieve it.
Alam mo ba, mahirap yung exam.
Alam ko ano, pero siyempre gumawa ako ng paraan.
Paano?
Siyempre, nangopya ako sa ating classmate. Alam mo yung nasa harap natin, ang galing-galing niya. Number 5 pa lang ako, number 10 na siya. Kaya,
O so, okay namang kopya ako nun.
Aba, siyempre, hindi naman yun natatawag na kopya para sa akin kasi gumawa ako ng paraan para makapasa. Gaya nga ng sabi nila, work hard, not smart. Kaya sa susunod, gawin mo din kung nahihirapan ka.
Ay, okay. So, sa susunod gagawin ko din.
Oo, okay lang.
The video illustrates differential association theory by showing how exposure to deviant behavior influences an individual. Christina, initially not engaging in cheating, becomes involved with Circes, who exhibits this deviant behavior. Through this association, Christina is likely to adopt cheating as a behavior herself. Differential association theory that suggests that Christina learns realizations and techniques for cheating from Circes, making it more probable that she will eventually engage in the same behavior or deviant.